Hold on a second, guys. So I'm going to start on Facebook. Welcome, guys, on this tonight. We're going to go and do a lot with talking about emotional stuff and emotional stuff, what you can do to really help yourself go from that anxiety to that excitement page. And I want to share a couple of things about lifelong vitality, and then I will have a couple of people joining us as well. So just give me 1 second. We're going to start the Facebook Live as well. Here we go. So Megan, could you do me a favor and every now and peek at the Facebook Live and see if it's going okay?
Yep, I gotcha.
Awesome. So while this starting up, would love to hear some experiences first before we kind of start with all of the theory that I have. Hold on a second, guys. Because there's a couple of things I want to share, but anybody wants to share, starting first a little bit about what has been for them the most important thing about the oils and kind of to do with anxiety and excitement while we're doing that? Anybody wants to share that? No? Chrissy gonna come through? Sorry. Megan, do you have any good experiences?
Yeah, so did you want it on lifelong vitality, or did you want just on like anxiety?
Mostly anxiety at this point. I mean, have you done anything that helps work with anxiety for you?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I've done a lot of things to help with anxiety. So, and actually, I mean, so I don't struggle too much with anxiety. However, and this is probably gonna make everyone laugh, but I do struggle with road rage, funny enough. So, that's probably my best example of that I can think of with using the oils for that kind of support. So, and I'm not kidding, like I really do. So,
I find that hard to believe.
I do. No, I really do. I smile a lot here, but get me in like a good traffic jam and oh man, the smiles go away. And so anyway, I was coming back from Washington, D.C. one time, so now you can probably understand the road rage. And so it's about like a 4-hour trip, 3.5 hours, like it'd be 3 hours without the traffic, but it's always about 4 or 5 with it. And so coming down the 95 corridor, it just fills up with cars. And so I was in a really bad traffic jam, and I was just about to just melt. Like I was just having an absolute meltdown in the car. Luckily, I was by myself, and so no one got to witness that. But it was really great because I had my emotional oils with me. I mean, honestly, any oil would have done at that point. But what I do remember reaching for, so I had my entire emotions kit with me, which is the 6 oils, right? Passion, cheer, motivate, all those. And I actually reached for peace and then cheer. And I have to say, they both worked amazing for me at that time. Like, because I was just sitting there, standstill traffic, and, just losing my groove there. And I started just breathing in peace, and start smothering myself. And it just started like putting all over my neck, I put it all over my wrist, and I was just smelling it out of the bottle, making a little scent tent with my hands. And then I also used a whole bunch of cheer oil, and the two of them together, it was amazing. And the effects were actually pretty fast, and I was able to calm down, and the rest of the drive was very mellow for me. So it worked really well. So that's one of my favorite experiences.
I love it. Love it, Megan. Okay. Well, there's a lot of things that have worked for me, for people that I've worked with anxiety, with feelings like you don't have that control, and the essential oils. And so I want to just do a couple of things tonight. And Megan touched on some of them already. There's some emotional oils piece that she mentioned already. There's 3 steps that I want to talk about. First is a lifelong vitality. I call it the backbone of any kind of anything you do with essential oils and trying to get your health into an optimum form. And I know that Alicia's going to come up too. Hey, I'm going to talk soon. We'll let her talk a little bit about lifelong vitality and that how it's helped her. Then there's the whole bunch of emotional oils, and we'll touch on those really quickly too. I know Tracy's going to come on and talk a little bit about that and how that has helped her. And then the last one is really what I call an aromatic dressing, and hopefully Brandy will be on the call as well. But an aromatic dressing is a way to actually get the oils all over your body right at the beginning of the day. And that has really made a huge difference for me, actually recently. I've only started doing that, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And there's been another layer of emotional stability and kind of strength coming with that. So let's just talk about all of those. I know it's a lot, and we only have like 20 more minutes. If anybody has any questions in the meantime, raise your hands, just butt in because you're all able to talk as well. So Megan, let me know if I need to promote anybody more to participant, because I don't see the screen.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll pay attention to that.
Awesome. So this is the protocol that we have made, that I have made a little while ago. It's not perfect. It's not the end all, but it does give you a little bit about idea about what kind of oils can you use on a consistent basis to actually get those feelings of an anxiety less. There's a lot of them that I have used on a very consistent basis. So for example, to start with balance on the bottom of the feet, and when you wake up, is actually something I do a lot.
I think you have two. I think you have two people that you can promote real fast. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let me do that real quick. So lifelong vitality. Can I do that from here? Okay, I'll do it in a second after I stop this sharing of the screen. But thank you.
Do what?
No, promote people to panelists, but only I can do that. So I'll do it in a second. So lifelong vitality is in there. That's something I use very consistently. There's diffuse the forgive oil, use Terrazyme, use lemon or lime in water throughout the day. We'll talk about all of those. But this will give you a little bit idea about what I think has really helped me, has a lot of people that I've worked with helping with those feelings of anxiety. Also feelings of emotional, feeling sadness and things like that. It's kind of very similar of a protocol. There's very different conditions, of course, going on, but it's very similar. Now, let's talk about lifelong vitality for a moment first, and I'm going to show this. And then we'll go and let Alicia talk about lifelong vitality and what's done for her. So there's a whole pamphlet, and it's pretty big, about these 3 ingredients. I'm going to touch only on a few things. If you're interested more, I'll post a link on Facebook as well so you can see it. But lifelong vitality is really kind of the backbone of a lot of things I do. And my team nowadays laughs because I didn't start using it seriously until 6 months ago. And I've been using the oils for almost 3 years now. And it has made a huge difference in how I feel physically. And somebody asked me, what would you give up if you actually had to give up oils or a lifelong vitality? And it would be a very hard choice. And I think I would almost give up the oils before I would give up lifelong vitality. That's how strong I feel about it. But see, these are the 3 components of it. And again, the alpha CRS is the cellular vitality complex. It's a very powerful polyphenol longevity blend, and it has a lot of things in, like resveratrol, some of you have heard about. Pomegranate is in there. Curcumin is in there from turmeric roots. So milk thistle is in there. So there's a lot of very high antioxidants in there. And if you think about antioxidants, why are they so important? Well, in general, our bodies are constantly having, why do we need an antioxidant? Actually, it's because if you have a cell and if that cell is not completely stable, then, hold on a second.
Can I see you?
Yeah, you can see me. If the cell is not completely stable, then there's an electron missing, right? And the one thing that you can't have in a cell is an electron missing, because it will constantly pull from other cells to actually make it stable again. That is really the idea of an antioxidant, to actually make the cell more stable. So this is really for cellular health more than anything else. And these are some really high antioxidant foods that it's really hard to get. A lot of people say, well, I'm eating healthy already. That's very true, and I am actually eating pretty healthy as well, but it's still very difficult to get these very powerful antioxidants on a regular basis. So that's the first one. This one is the second one. Hold on. The Z omega. And again, there's also a lot of antioxidant protection in that. There's also a lot of very good essential oils. I don't know if we realize sometimes how many good essential oils are in there. So there's clove, there's frankincense, there's thyme, there's cumin, there's wild orange, there's peppermint, ginger, and German chamomile. That's a ton of essential oils that you're getting on a very daily basis in the morning and in the evening. And there's all the fish oils. In general, we have the omega-3 and omega-6, right? We're very heavily not in balance there. It should be about 1-on-1. And generally, our omega-3 is about 1 to 15 to omega-6. So we're getting so many more of those oils that we really don't need. So the fish oils is of course a wonderful way to get more omega-3s. Unfortunately, we don't really eat a lot of fish. So that's another reason why that blend is actually full of that. And then the last thing is the vegan microcomplex. It's the microplex VM, and that has all the antioxidants, again, vitamin A, C, and E, all the B vitamins, the D vitamins, and a lot of minerals, as well as some some smaller things like peppermint leaf, ginger root, and caraway seed extracts. I like the minerals, by the way, that's in there a lot. The zinc, the magnesium, those are all really important ones. So that's just to give you a kind of quick idea about why these oils work. Now, the funny thing is, what I tell the people, you expect these to work on a physical level, right? You expect these to feel healthy and physical. But what I have seen in my own kids, for me, as well as many people I've worked with, is that they have balanced people emotionally. And that's what I want to talk a little about. And Alicia, I know you're on the phone there. Would you mind talking a little bit about that, about how that has helped you? I know the Lifelong Vitality has helped you physically and also, but can you share a little bit how it worked emotionally for you?
Oh, okay. So emotionally.
Talk physically too. That's good too.
Okay, well, physically, I noticed for me in the beginning, I took maybe the wrong thing. I took the EO Omega and the Microplex. I didn't have the Alpha CRS. And so, but once I added the Alpha CRS, boy, that I call these the three wise men, and the Mito to the Maxis, their friend Mito, because these three things I can't do without. They're the three wisest guys I know. I have to have these. My children have to have these. For me, on a physical level, I started to expel toxins immediately. Okay, so how does one expel toxins? Through your urine, through your feces, and through your skin. I noticed that the bathroom issue, I was noticing toxins right away. I was peeing a lot. I was noticing toxins leaving my body. As a result of that, though, I started to lose weight. And I started to lose weight so much that people were like, hey, what are you doing over there? What's going on? I'm like, I'm taking these supplements. They're so wonderful. For what's happening is, though, my body went out of fat storage mode. It went into, proper vitality. And so I love this. My kids love this. I couldn't say more. There's a lot of things in here that weren't mentioned, like lutein, which is good for your eyes, alpha lipoic acid, which is great for sports recovery, vitamin D. We need these things.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Do you think it actually changed you emotionally as well?
Well, I definitely notice a change. I'm definitely more even out than I used to be. I still rely on Serenity a lot because I'm hyper energy just naturally. My what do you call it, entrepreneurial spirit is high. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of people around you have gotten interested. I'm curious because Christy here wants to talk too for a second. She wants to talk about, she's next to me, but she talked about Lifelong Vitality and how it's worked for her. You want to talk about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want my story? Okay.
Yes, please.
Speak up though, because it's 11. We have some.
Okay. So I'm a cancer survivor, and I was on tamoxifen for 5 years, and when I went off of it, my menstrual cycle went haywire, and I was on a menstrual cycle for 4 months. I went to the doctor. I had some procedures done. I had things done to stop it, and it didn't stop it. And I started taking the Lifelong Vitality and some of the oils, and it stopped it. And I went back to the doctor, and I asked them to remove the IUD that they put in to help stop it. They thought I was crazy. And I said, oh, well, take it out anyway. And it stopped it. So that was 4 months. And then I went off of the Lifelong Vitality because I ran out, and don't ever do that. So
Don't do it. It's really bad. When you don't have the supplements, you just feel sluggish and like missing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. So I love it. Awesome. Anybody else has any other experiences? Otherwise, I want to talk a little bit about the emotional oils too. We only have 10 more minutes to go. So, but anybody else, any kind of experiences you want to share?
I just love Lifelong Vitality. That's all I'll say. It's amazing.
Thanks, Megan. Awesome. All right, well, let's go a little bit further. I want to go for a moment to this one still. Oh, where are you? Sorry, my thing is not working. Can you guys see when I put up this poster about emotional support? Hold on. This one. Do you guys see this one? Essential oils for emotional support?
No, it looks like it's still on the Lifelong Vitality pack. I see your tab for emotional aromatherapy though at the top.
That's not what I want to do though. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. Hold on. Here it is. Now, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
hey, nice.
Yeah, who made that?
I have
Well,
no
I will tell you
idea.
guys, this is Megan's creation, and I love what she does. Um,
It's beautiful.
what?
I need that. I need
Well,
to
we
You
have.
can have it. I will send it to you.
awesome.
Megan makes beautiful flyers. So I just want to push this out a little bit. We just made this, and truly, I think it is Megan's creation, and I think it's beautiful. But it talks a little bit about additional oils that you can use. So I use Lifelong Vitality absolutely as my base for emotional support, but then I do go to these oils as well. And these are the 6 emotional oils that you can use. And these are, so the Lifelong Vitality is taken internally, just to be clear. These are all oils that you can put on the skin, that you can put in the diffuser, but that really are externally. Now, why does that work, these emotional oils? It all has to do with brain chemistry. The minute we smell anything, any oil, it immediately goes through the olfactory nerve into the limbic system. And there's a host of things that are starting to happen. There's all kind of neurotransmitters that are affected by these emotional oils. So what I'd say nowadays, it's more than just a nice smell. We love these oils because they do give a nice smell. But at the same time, the minute you smell them, they start changing your brain chemistry in terms of forgetting the neurotransmitters names right now, the dopamine and everything else that's down there. And it acts, serotonin is one of them, awesome, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Those are all the neurotransmitters that immediately start to change. And it also has a very strong effect right away on the hypothalamus and the thalamus, which are also in your brain, which have a direct effect on your hormones. So by smelling these oils, you're changing the neurotransmitters and you're changing also the hormonal system in your body. So that kind of gives you an idea about why it's so important. Now, we put out some ideas about the oils that you can use for certain things that are also recommended by doTERRA. In general, though, I would say also use your own intuition, also your own feelings about what you like for certain oils. So for stress and anxiety, we put some things that you can use there. The calming blend and the encouraging blend are really, really nice. Encouraging blend is called Motivate, and the calming blend, Megan, is it Peace? Serenity? Yeah, it's Serenity. Mm-hmm. Then you have the focus blend, which is called In Tune, and then lavender, lemon, and wild orange are some oils that you can use for anxiety. Now, a lot of people are surprised when they see things like wild orange, or Motivate also has a lot of the oranges and the lemons in there. Or I also actually like peppermint for anxiety. Why is that? For some people, it really works to have lavender. For me, it never did anything. Never, ever did I actually really like lavender. I don't really truly like lavender as a smell. For some things, I still use it for wound care especially. But it's not really my smell, and it didn't really help me because my brain, the way I work as an entrepreneur, a little bit ADHD, I need a little bit more of grounding and focusing. So for me, the peppermint has always worked, as well as some oils like frankincense or some of the tree oils that really, really help me as well to ground myself. So that has worked for me for anxiety. So I always say, look a little bit at what works for you and try some different things. I had somebody who couldn't sleep at all with lavender, but we put Breathe in there, which again has peppermint, eucalyptus, and boom, she slept the whole night through and really helped with her feelings of anxiety. So you gotta play a little bit with this. I would love to have some comments. I'm going to make this a little bit small so I can see any comments. Or anybody wants to say something that has really worked for them in terms of these oils? A lot of people on, so let me know, guys. And that
is the same way. I'm citrus and tree oils all the way. That's usually what I go towards. Like I'll use lavender and I will use Serenity, but my favorites are usually the citrus and the trees.
Yeah. I think we have similar personalities. Okay, what can you say, Megan?
Saying I have ADHD?
Okay, and I say ADHD. I've never been formally diagnosed with ADHD, guys, but I do think you and I both like to go from topic to topic. We like different things. We don't.
Yeah. True. It's probably why we like the tree oils. Got to stay rooted, grounded.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I am definitely ADHD, but I do not go for the oranges.
That's true. That's true. You like Serenity. Like, you are all about the Serenity soft gels. I love how much you use those.
I just took one because I was anxious.
Oils in action.
Yellow cap.
It just soothes the whole, listen, it brings your cells all even, your brain and your body.
How
So
often do you take them?
Well, to be honest, the last few days, I would say 3 times a day.
Do you take them to sleep or just for anxiety?
I don't take them for sleep because I sleep fine. I just take it for anxiety. I wake up and I'll take one because I feel anxious.
Do you take 1 or 2?
1,
Okay.
yeah. 2 will make me really sleepy. 1 just evens it out for me.
That's awesome.
Helps with focus also because it has theanine. We're off the subject, but
No, it's good. That's fine.
yeah. But I think frankincense, as we were talking about the grounding, and I think for me, since I don't do orange, I do frankincense instead.
Uh-huh. Awesome. I love it. Tracy, I see you're on the call. Tracy, yeah, I'm muted too. Hey, dear. You want to tell a little bit about this emotional oils and what it's done for you personally?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Look at all the
Tracy.
orange behind you.
I'm in bed, my bed right here. There's no men on here, so I figured I could do that. I wish I had like really good reasons why I like the oils, like, you know, with scientific back research or something. Basically, I love the emotional oils because
Oh, you got frozen there. Tracy, we're frozen. Okay, we'll have to see. She's just froze. Okay, bummer. I'll wait a second, see if she can come back on. But
and just knowing I want to feel motivated today, you know, I want to be cheered up today, or I need more, I want to be calm today, peace. And so that's just simple for me. I can just grab it and put it on there. And I love the roller bottles. I just ordered some of those because I think they're easier to put on than having a little bottle with drops, you know, a little dropper. It's hard to kind of gauge, and it's too much sometimes or not enough. So I love the roller bottles. You can just like throw them in your bag and go.
Mhm.
So trying to promote those a lot to people who come into my shop, you know, and I think it'll catch on. Right now they're just taking it all in.
right.
I think that's why I love them so much, because they tell me what I'm getting real simply, and my little brain doesn't have to think too hard because there's too many other things to think about in the world, you know.
Right.
But the soft gel, the Serenity soft gels, I didn't know about that. That sounds really good for anxiety, because I do, anxiety is an issue for sure for me, big time. I'm ADD just like you guys, and there's some oils, like I'll put peace in my diffuser. I diffuse in the store every day. So I always tell people that come in, you can tell what my mood is that day because that's in the diffuser. So if you're seeing like cheer in the diffuser or whatever, it's because, okay, I was a little blue today. Or if you're seeing peace or console, okay, or balance, you know, I need balance today. So they can always tell what my mood is based on what's in my diffuser.
Awesome. Thank you, dear. I love it. And I know it's also helped for your kids, right? So I think also our kids are always wonderful to kind of help with these emotional oils as well. And put them in diffuser, right? Just put them in diffuser when you're at home. That really kind of often helps, I think, at least.
I do. I try to put in their rooms. I need to get more diffusers because right now I'm kind of moving one around room to room. And I don't think they know that they can't say, oh yeah, that helps me, or it doesn't. Because it's one of those things that they just might feel a little better, but not know why, not even think about it. You know what I mean? So Vetiver, I use that a lot because I heard great things about that with panic attacks and anxiety. So I'll put that in the diffuser for them when they sleep at night. Because my one daughter just doesn't sleep well at all at night. She could be all night, 3 nights in a row. Really bad insomnia. So that does seem to give her some peace. But I think there's a lot of things involved, you know, whether it's like the long life vitality. So I'm taking that now because I think nutrition has a lot to do with ADD and anxiety. So I'm just trying to get healthy in general. I know I don't eat very well, and try to get off my Adderall. I'm on Adderall, and that helps a little bit with, you know, like a mild depression. Maybe it's moderate, I don't know. You know, I'm just used to it. And then anxiety. So the Adderall helps because I can focus more, but I'd like to get off of that. So with Long Life Vitality, I found that I definitely feel a lot better on that. And I'm able to cut back on my Adderall a lot. And when I don't take the Long Life Vitality, I will get like, my stomach will be a little upset, kind of like something's wrong in my digestive system, something's not right there. And when I wake up in the morning, if I haven't taken it the night before, I'm just real achy when I get out of bed. And I just thought that was really interesting. When I take that, I don't wake up achy all over, just like little aches and pains, just little things like crickety.
Awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. So, and I love your story about lifelong vitality too. I think, kind of wrapping up because it's 7:30 already, and I want to give Megan some time as well. But there's a lot of people on, so thank you guys for coming on tonight. I think that's really awesome. I think, again, kind of wrapping up what we talked about, and I want to talk about the aromatic dressing real quick. But it really, what you said about using the lifelong vitality and then diffusing the oils whenever you can and put them on yourself. There was a study, I just want to go really quickly into that. There was a project done by one of the major hospitals at the oncology center, and they looked at healthcare professionals. And anybody wants to guess, if you know, don't say it, but anybody wants to guess which oil was the absolute winner in terms of getting rid of, making people happier, getting rid of anger and frustration? Anybody has any idea? Nobody? Oh, Mal has an idea. Which one? Go ahead, Mal. Which one?
Citrus.
No. It actually was Forgive. Forgive was the absolute winner. And the renewal blends. And so it was kind of interesting because it actually took all the anger and frustration that I had to zero, which was kind of significant. Now, again, that study needs to be repeated and done again. But honestly, to go from sometimes up to 30, 40, 50% of frustration and anger to actually all the way down to zero is an awesome accomplishment. So think about Forgive absolutely as a wonderful blend. The citrus blends are great too, so is Motivate. But I want to put out that Forgive really was a complete and absolute winner in that project when they actually did the research. There is more and more research in rats and mice as well, and to see how this all works. And I think in the years to come, we'll kind of know a lot more about how it actually works. And Tracy actually put something in the chat as well. Okay. Yeah, try anything. Awesome. And if you have more questions, by the way, this is going to be on Facebook. So please put your comments and any kind of questions you have on Facebook. I think I want to end with the protocol one more time and kind of show you what kind of an idea of what you can do. Because I don't think it always is as straightforward as this, and yet this protocol can really help as well. So anybody has any other things to add before I actually want to say? I'm trying to get this up, guys. It doesn't really want to do what I want to do right now. Hold on. So what you do before okay, we're not going to get it on right now. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. So what I do every morning with the oils is I put some oils on my hands, and I put actually the oils that some coconut oil. And then I put the oils I like for that day, which may be the blends, the frankincense or sandalwood, or often it has balance in there. And I start putting it on my feet, and I start putting it on my legs, and I start putting it all over my body and in my hair as well. And when I do that, we kind of do a little meditation about loving myself, loving the parts of myself, and then also putting a little bit of a protective barrier around me. What I have found on a consistent basis, if I do that, in the morning, it really lasts for me all morning. And then I often need to do it again in the early afternoon. For me, my feelings have gone from anxiety to really feeling much more excited about life. That's why I call it from anxiety to excitement. I'm still a little bit of a hyper person. I still love to do all kinds of different things all at the same time, but it doesn't feel as crazy as it used to feel, even though my life has actually gotten busier on an average. It really has. My life is a little bit crazy right now, but it doesn't feel as bad anymore. So I think that has been my biggest witness. So, okay. Any other comments or questions before I turn it over to you, Megan, for our next part of the call? No? Okay. All right. Well, if you have any more questions, please contact me. We also do a lot of one-on-ones calls, and we also do a lot of one-on-one protocols as well. So I showed you the protocol earlier. That's a generalized protocol. We'd love to do one that works for you and see what can work for you, for some of you, because I know there's some other people on the call who haven't been on here before. So kind of would love to have that idea. and we were going to go on Facebook with Christy. So Megan, I'm going to turn it back to you, dear. Go and have fun with everything that we're doing. But thanks for being on the call for this piece. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the build guide. So if you want to know a little bit more about the business of doTERRA, stay on, don't go off, because we have some awesome things by Megan. So go
All
for it.
right. Sounds good. Okay, so welcome to the business portion of our call. Yay! All right. So I want to start off. Thank you, Alicia. I feel the applause. I can hear it. I can hear it in my mind. Yeah. So, couple announcements just to get us started off. So this Saturday we have our second Saturday of the month. Whatchamacallit, I guess it's not even second Saturday, but we have a class out on Eastern Shore, right? 10 a.m.
Deep dive. Essential oils deep dive.
I was like, yeah. So we have an essential oil deep dive happening out on the Eastern Shore. You can find the invite on our Project Touch Worldwide Facebook page, I believe, right? It is there. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Of course it's there. What am I talking about? So if you need the details there, address, all that good stuff, hop to our page, go check it out and be there because it's going to be awesome. And also, too, I got really excited about this today. And maybe this should have been on the oils portion of the call, but I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. The Christmas guide is out. Okay. So they gave a sneak peek today of what the Christmas stuff is going to be. And it's all going to be available on November 1st. And I bring this up. I just have to say, I'm bringing this up here on the business portion of the call because one thing I want to say is that one of my biggest thoughts over the past, like, probably couple days as I've been working with people has been to really love the products as much as you can yourself, because as the more you love the product and more you use the product yourself, the easier it's going to be to share it with other people, because you're just going to feel so much better. So as you use the oils and learn how to use them, learn about them, what they're for, and just love them and stuff and enjoy them and have fun with them, the easier it's going to be to find people to share them with. And you're going to have so much to talk about, and you're just going to want to share this stuff with people. So anyway, just keep that thought with you. But like I said, the Christmas guide is out, so go check it out. I posted it on our page. And again, there's beautiful things in there. I'm really excited. And there is a new holiday blend in there. It's called Holiday Peace. So they will still have last Holiday Joy, which has been from the past couple of years, which smells amazing. So you should absolutely get that too. But then they'll have Holiday Peace too, which I know that has Siberian fir. It said something about, it was like Himalayan fir in there too. So something kind of cool with this tree oil. So all kinds of neat things in there. But go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And then for tonight, I wanted to cover some of the highlights of the build guide, the new build guide from the Empowered Success System. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Now I know that a lot of us are familiar with this. But I do think that it always is worth it to go over it again, for those of us who maybe aren't as familiar with it, just so that we can get acquainted with it and just look at all the different, good things in here, because the build guide personally is my favorite guide. The Natural Solutions one that just came out is really neat too, and I'm excited because I ordered a whole bunch of build guides and Natural Solutions. But traditionally speaking, I like the build guide because this is the exciting part of doTERRA when you look at, well, here's what I can do. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Natural Solutions is great, for product, knowledge and learning about and stuff. Build guide, this is when you're looking at the business and everything and you're like, whoa, what can I do with doTERRA? This is what you can do with doTERRA. Let's take your
Megan,
business.
can you hear me, dear?
I can hear you.
Okay, can you actually stop the screen one time?
Sure.
Because I want to actually get it on Facebook, and I'm not able to do that when you...
Oh, you're not on Facebook? Oh,
no,
okay.
So I want to, hold on. No, I stopped the other call. I want to share this on the other one. So.
Okay, all right, let me know when you're ready. Hold up, folks. We'll be back in a minute.
It's funny, I can't see it all.
I'm almost going to pee my pants over here.
I was going to pee your pants. Oh my gosh, you should probably take care of that.
I'm still recording.
Eating milk time. I never saw this. So doTERRA's proven growth compared to Apple company. Are you not freaking out about this?
It's amazing. doTERRA is amazing.
I always say doTERRA is the next Google.
I'm telling you, in just a couple of years, they've become $1 billion company. I mean, they paid off their debts fast. And what impresses me too about the doTERRA executives is that they paid for most of this with their own savings. That's how much they believe in what they're doing. So, come on now. Cool stuff. All right. Are we ready? We're live on Facebook. Perfect. Okay.
Yes, doTERRA executive. Facebook. Go for it.
Yep. Okay, so let me bring up the build guide one more time. So for those of you joining us on Facebook Live, we're going to go over the build guide now. And again, I know that most of us are probably familiar with it. We probably checked it out, but it's always good to look at this because it is jam-packed with good stuff. And so this is where you really do get to see the doTERRA opportunity. And like we were just mentioning a minute ago, I feel like I'm right there with you, Alicia, that doTERRA seriously is like the Google of like health products or whatever you want to call it, but it's amazing. And so here in the build guide, which is part of the new Empowered Success System, and it's really good. It's really well done, and they beautifully represent what you can do with it. And it's very similar to the old guide from the Share Success System, with just some small modifications, but it's really nice how they represent everything here. So they start off, are you ready for financial freedom? And so they tell the story. They talk about the man who hauled the buckets of water for a living, which hopefully most of us are familiar with that. This guy hauling buckets has to do it one at a time, right? It's very laborious, and it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. He's doing it on his own. But then after that, he's tired of carrying these buckets, which I don't blame him. I would be too. And so he starts to build himself a pipeline, which at first kind of low in return, right? Because it takes, takes him a little bit while to build this pipeline. It's got to be strong. It's got to be long. Got to get to that water source and be able to bring it back. And so he builds it. Then the water is flowing back to him. And so all of that effort that he put in initially is just coming back to him now. And so what we're doing here is talking, using this example then to show what you're doing here with your doTERRA business. And so here, it talks about, where are you? Are you hauling buckets right now? Are you trading hours for dollars? And, and it's okay. You can ask yourself these questions. It's all right. No one's, judging you or anything, but it's just kind of like, hey, where are you? And then also ask yourself the question, where do you want to be? And so here we, look at the hauling buckets, your trading hours for dollars, limit on advancement and earnings. And then you come over here to building a pipeline. This is where you get into true lasting residual income. There's no limits on your advancement and earnings. And then you have the freedom to choose your schedule, and you get to build your dreams, which, not out of unkindness do I say this, but really, look at the traditional job model that we, most of us probably come from this model, and it's okay. But look at it where you really are trading hours for dollars. And in most cases, you're kind of building someone else's dream. It may not have anything to do with what you want to do. And interestingly enough, whenever someone is like, oh, network marketing, that's a pyramid scheme. Oh boy, don't say that in front of me anymore, because I'm just like, what the real pyramid scheme is. Well, actually, let's be honest, like almost everything's a pyramid scheme. And what's interesting, though, is here in doTERRA, and I guess network marketing or whatever, but here in doTERRA especially, there's no limit on your advancements. You are the leader of your team. I like how Christine Hales, our upline, she described it as a ball, actually, where everybody gets to touch the ball and everybody ends up being the leader. And so then you're training leaders, putting them beneath you. And so, yeah, everyone gets to be at the top there. And so it's really neat. But a traditional structure, not the case. Anyway, let me move on from here. I know we got short amounts of time. So then here further on in the build guide, and again, like they describe this all just beautifully. It's all sequential. It really takes you through all the thinking. Why would you be interested in this? And then it talks about here, why would you want to partner with doTERRA? Well, a few reasons here. So number one, doTERRA is effective. And I think most of us on this call, especially if you were on the first half of the call, you know how effective these essential oils are, right? You've used them and you've loved them. You know how well they work for you. And what's really cool here is there is record-breaking retention in the industry for doTERRA. So look at this. In the network marketing industry, doTERRA has a 65% retention rate, which is so far beyond any other company's retention rate. I mean, it's really phenomenal. So, why not partner with doTERRA? Because obviously, people are sticking with it. This is something that, that most people are going to stick with. And so it's a pretty safe model here. And then also too, look at, doTERRA as, look at their growth model here. Their growth just continues to grow. And when you compare it to Apple's, just like Alicia was saying, thank you for pointing that out, Alicia, it's the same kind of thing here. Look at how fast they're growing. And it's also been very steady as well. doTERRA, they are actually very careful. You look at their growth model here and you're like, whoa, oh my gosh, like how is this possible? However, what's really neat though is they're always innovating. They're always bringing in the best minds, and they're always, innovating their practices, making them as good as they can be. And so doTERRA is very, I would almost say humble. Like they're always willing to, better things, and, they're always trying to add value, which, I mean, again, if you're involved in this company, if you experienced, even some of their deals, like I was amazed at, convention, where if you bought the convention kit, like that was $150 off of the normal price. Like it was amazing. They're always adding value to what we get. So it's just phenomenal. I love working with doTERRA. And then also too, one of the best things about doTERRA that I love sharing with people is about how much they care about people, and how much they do want to change the world. So if you look at their Healing Hands projects, you look at what they do with co-impact sourcing, just everything that they do is just so good. Like it's just such a wholesome company. I mean, I just love them so much. And so there are multiple reasons why you would want to work with doTERRA. And so you can read more about that there and present that to people. Like I do love to share this guide with people, even when they're first getting into doTERRA. If there is that interest, sometimes, maybe people aren't ready, but for the most part, I do try to share this just because I'm like, hey, if you ever become interested, this just is such a solid model. So, here, have this guide. And then here we talk about, here are some, very simple steps to share your pipeline, to build your financial pipeline. So I apologize, right here is where it's a little bit unwieldy just because it's a single page. It's meant to be a booklet. But if you look up here, the first simple way that you can build your financial pipeline is to, number one, use doTERRA products, which I mentioned that a little bit at the beginning of this business call. I did say that, one thing that's been on my mind lately has been really, it's so important to love the products yourself. So be a product of the product. Use essential oils, use the products, use the Lifelong Vitality, use this stuff as much as you can and love it, because the more you use it and love it, then the more you're going to be able to share it easily with other people. You're going to want to share it with other people because you're going to feel so enthusiastic. You're all going to feel super energetic from the Lifelong Vitality, and you're going to feel just amazing. So be a product of the product. Use doTERRA products. That's kind of the first way. And then we'll come back. We'll look at pipes in just a second. But if we come down here, then the other two ways to continually build your financial pipeline then is to share doTERRA. And I like how it says share, because that's really what you're doing here, is you're going to share the oils with people. People, not to be, negative, but people love to talk about their problems. We love to complain. We love to be like, oh, I've got a headache, blah. And so, well, whenever that comes up, heck, there's an oil for that. So have your oils at the ready and be willing to share them with other people. And trust me, people will thank you for that. They will. And then third here is teach others. So 3 simple steps. You share the oil with them, and then you're going to teach them about it, which common sense, right? These are all pretty easy things. And then also here in the build guide, they talk about the pipe system. Oh, and by the way, if any of you have any questions or comments, I know that I kind of talk fast, so please jump in and comment if you want to. Yeah, but here we talk about the pipe system. And so this is just kind of a nice way of talking about the process of building your pipeline. So, and you can read it here. The first P is prepare. Prepare yourself for success by experiencing the benefits of doTERRA's products and proven training systems. This is where, you really work on yourself, using the products. And then the second part is invite. So now you're going to invite others to learn about doTERRA's natural solutions and opportunity. So you might teach classes, whether it be online and or in person, maybe it's one-on-ones, maybe it's over the phone, or however you want to do it. I have done it in so many different ways. So just get creative, find what you like to do and fit it in, because I'm sure it will. And then the third P here, the third part is present. So now, you've invited, now you're going to present doTERRA's message of wellness and then also the financial prosperity piece. Again, I love to present both, just because who doesn't want another, income stream? Come on, like it's so easy. I mean, really, these products truly sell themselves. Just saying. All right. And then the next part is enroll. And enroll and empower others with natural solutions and invite them to change lives. So that's the part where you're going to help them sign up, become, wellness advocate or wholesale. And then the last part, support, then you're going to support your customers and builders to success. So this is the follow-up. And most of you have probably heard the phrase, the money's in the follow-up. And it's true. Because if you sign someone up and then forget about them, yeah, they're going to feel forgotten and they're going to leave. That's what's going to happen. And I've seen that happen many times with myself. So, learn from that, but you got to support your team. So that's the last part of pipes. And so very simple system and very straightforward. So you can read more about it there. Any comments so far? If not, I'm going to continue.
Megan, can I just say something about that?
Sure, go ahead.
All these guides that you just mentioned will come into the enrollment. When somebody enrolls, they definitely get the live, and the share, and the build guide. I'm not sure if they're going to get the last one, the launch your business. I don't think so, but
not sure.
That one isn't out yet. The other 3 are, and I really like them actually. I liked them before, but the improvements, I just got them actually, Megan, so I have some for you as well.
Yay!
But the how they actually improved them from the way they were. I think they did some nice touches to them that make them even better. So I'm glad you're doing this today. But
awesome. Now you're main in the enrollment kit, like when someone signs up for a membership, like that big packet that comes. Oh, okay. I just got in a home essentials kit today with the kit, with the thing. So I'm gonna go check it out and see what guides came.
Okay, they're good too.
Might be hard to give it away. I don't know. Anyway, I totally will. All right. Cool. Thank you for that, Anna Maria. I appreciate that. Okay. So now, this is probably my favorite part of the build guide, just because this is the fun part where you look at the graph and you see like all the cool numbers, all the possibilities of what you can do. So it's like, ooh, let's take your business for a spin, huh? Yeah. And then you come down here and look at the guide, and this is pretty cool. So, and it's fun to watch people's faces, like when I pull out the guide and they're like, whoa, is this real? And I'm like, oh, it's real. I know people in these ranks. So it's like, hey, wow. So you're going to start down here. So when you first sign up, I think, what are you? I'm trying to think, like your wellness advocate. I can't remember what the very first ones are, but
director, and then executive.
What was the first director?
Yeah, first you're wellness advocate, and then you become director and then executive.
And it's like the manager or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a couple small steps, and then the first significant rank that you hit is elite. And so what's nice here too on the guide is it shows you what you have to do to qualify to get to these ranks. So you can see you got to have a volume, a total volume of 3,000. And for elite, it doesn't really matter how you structure your team, but you do want to start thinking of things in terms of the power of 3, and we'll get to that in a second. But here you can see enroll 15 plus people, and of course it depends on how much, what people's orders are, how much they're ordering every month. So you'll have to look at that, and of course that's what your back office is for. But around here, this is about where you're getting your oils paid for, which, cool, why not? That's a great place. That's a great motivator for a lot of people. It's like, well, why not get my, oil obsession paid for? And then up here, you have Premier. That's the next rank. And under here, you can see that you need to have 2 elites. And then underneath that, then they need to each have 2,000 plus. So you need to have 5,000 minimum for volume. And then, again, gives you kind of a baseline for how many people you should enroll. And then here is your income for the month. So about $742 a month. Pretty darn good. And you can really get obsessed with your oils. And then the next rank up from there, the next significant one is silver, 3 elites. And so these do have to be personally enrolled elites. And then from there, then you can see that the income does start to jump up pretty far, which is really cool. And then to gold, and then to platinum and diamond. And so you can see what all the different requirements are there and what you can earn with them. So it's pretty sweet. And so this is actually a really handy way to make goals with your business. It's like, okay, look at a rank. Which one do you want to go for? What do you want to work on? What do you want to aim for? So that's a good way to do it. And then the other half of the graph, again, I apologize, not in booklet form, so it's a little unwieldy. But then you come over here and then you see blue diamond and presidential diamond. It's like, whoa, that's pretty darn cool. So a lot of options here, a lot of room for growth. And what's cool is presidential diamond isn't even as far as you can go. You can go even beyond that. You can be a double presidential if you really are motivated and really want to do that. It has been done, so you can do that. But what I really like here in the build guide, and this can be one of the difficult parts because there are a lot of different things to consider in the business, just in terms of understanding the compensation plan. But I love this graph because I feel like it represents it really well. And then over here, it talks about the 4 different ways to get paid in doTERRA. And what time is it? Oh gosh, it's 7:53. Okay, let me finish this up. But it talks about kind of the main way, which, let's see, where did it go? Okay, well, we'll start here. I think it's down here. I like to start with fast start bonus just because that's the first part. And as you can see, that's the smallest part on the graph. That's kind of, that's the smallest part of your payment each month. And this one is actually paid weekly. It's paid weekly on new enrollee volume for their first 60 days. And the enroller, their enroller, you have to have a 100 PV LRP order in order to get this bonus. So, and that goes for all of the different payments. To get any kind of compensation, you need to have at least a 100 PV LRP order. And so just good things to know. And then you can also get the Fast Start bonus based off of what your enrollees are enrolling too. So you as the first level enrollment, you'll get 20%, and then it goes down from there to 10% and then 5%. So pretty cool, but it's still a pretty small portion of the graph. All right. So the next way to get paid in doTERRA is your Power of 3 team bonus. And so like I said with Elite, you know how it said over in Elite, like you don't really have to have structure, but you do want to start thinking in terms of having legs. So here, this is where this encourages you to build to that structure. So this is your Power of 3 team bonus. So here's you at the top. You can see yourself at the top of the line. And then you have your level down, next level down. Those are your enrollees. And you've enrolled them, and they're all on their LRP orders. And you have to have a total volume of 600. And so once you do that, then you get your $50 bonus, which is pretty cool because that's a significant, that would pay for most of your monthly order, or at least that would pay for a good chunk of it. And then go down, and then your next level beneath that, so let's say you're 3 people, then each roll in 3 people. Then, you know, they're all on their LRP orders, remember, so you got to have them on that. And then you'll get $250. So that's pretty sweet. And then the next level down is 1,500, and it just keeps going. So it's pretty cool. All right, and then the last 2 are the, oh gosh, sorry. All right, the unilevel bonus, where that's your monthly. And the Power of 3 is also paid monthly, and then so is your unilevel. Just shows you how that works. And then leadership bonus, these are for the higher leadership ranks starting at Premier. And so you get a percentage of the global profits. So a lot of ways to get paid in doTERRA. And you can see as you get higher up there that the unilevel and then the leadership pools, those are a lot bigger. So pretty cool stuff. Go ahead.
Tracy asked, and I just want to put out the question because I think it's an excellent question.
Oh, good. I didn't see it.
Best way to track customers. Does anybody use an additional spreadsheet or anything else? Anybody wants to say something about that? I'd love to.
What was the question? How do you keep track of leads? Or
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Spreadsheet,
so,
whatever they use.
do you want to go ahead, Christy? Because I know that you've used Lead Train. Is Christy still there?
Christy's still there. You want to talk?
Would you like to share what you do with Lead Train, Christy?
I was having issues with it, and I haven't used it.
Christy says she hasn't used it. So I'll give my input, and then I'd love to hear other people too. Mine is a simple booklet. It really is a simple, here, hold on, I'm going to get it. And you know, it's been the best thing for me. Which I know sounds pretty simple, but this is my little booklet. And I hope I never lose it because it makes sense to do it on spreadsheets, and yet it's never worked for me. So, and I even have certain, because my team is getting bigger and bigger, right? So there are certain people that I have certain leads under that I'm working with as well. So I write these down as well. But honestly, this has been the best thing for me. And then I write down what kind of contacts I've had with them. And yeah, this also seems to be one of the ones, I've done it for quite a while, and there's certain names that I've like, oh, I have to look it up, and I can just simply go back in the book. That's what I do. I don't think it's the most sophisticated, but that's what I do. And Lead Train is a good one. There's several other programs as well that you can use to kind of track your customers, and there's some really excellent ones from doTERRA, and I probably should invest in that and should do that, but I haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm actually pretty similar. So mine is, again, a little unwieldy. What I often do, and I'm getting a lot better about this, is I like to visit my tree structure, and I'll look at people on there. And so that's for people who are already enrolled. And then for leads, like people who I'm talking to and stuff, I love my app that's called Keep. It's Google Keep. It has a little light bulb on there and stuff is the little thing. But I like to use that app. And so what I do is I set up reminders for myself. And so I'll set up a little note for a person. And then I set up, a reminder that says, the next time I should talk to them. And so I'll be like, okay, let's talk this time, okay, like I need to follow up with this person. And so as soon as I set up a meeting with someone, I'll go ahead and write a reminder for myself. And then it flashes up in my phone. I usually have it about an hour before. Just in case I'm like not showered or something. But, I basically use the notification system on my phone just because, like I can forget stuff easily. But I do like the book idea, Anna Marie. And yeah, there are a lot of programs out there. So you kind of just find the system that works for you. And I imagine that, yeah, as you continue to grow and find even more people, you may want a formal system.
Well, I will tell you one thing about that though, Megan. As I've grown, more of my leaders have stepped up and started their own systems.
That's true,
So,
though. Yeah.
honestly, I probably have more leads than I had a year ago, but it still hasn't gone to a place for me where I need to be out of control, because I think I also get a little more picky about the leads that I do anyway, right? Leaders who enroll leaders. So it doesn't have to be. If you really are also focusing on training the people that you work with and helping them develop their context, right? And follow up with their contacts. And sometimes it can be hard. I mean, several of you, I mean, Tracy, you're one of them too, where I've been working with some of you to actually help others kind of see how do you follow up with people, right? In the beginning, it can be very easy. Oh, I'll do the follow up, but at one point, you gotta say no. It's their context, it's their follow up. So, and in the long run, you don't want to manage 1,000 people. You just simply don't. You really want to be the example of being able to have a couple of leaders who really enroll leaders and work with those, and then keep on working on new ones. I think you always work on new ones, but again, that should be able to be contained in a fairly small system. So you don't need a huge one. And again, and I guess the last thing I want to say about that is we do have Scipio, and Scipio is available for you guys to use. So I wouldn't use it as an organizing system, but it is a way to help people kind of get in touch and get organized, and help you to get at least a weekly message out to your people. Because if they get added to that Scipio list, they will get a weekly text message about our call. And that is helpful. We've had several people on the call tonight who I think came from that as well. So just to keep that in mind too, just as an extra support.
I like that. And I really love that thought. And that's true, because here we are, what we do want to do is, create leaders. And so the more you create leaders, they are going to do their part. And so then that also does make it more manageable for you. And of course you want them to be leaders themselves, because, if you're having to do everything, I mean, not only is that too much work for you and it's not going to work in the end, you're going to burn out, but also you're not doing justice to your team either. And they're not going to learn what they need to learn, and they're not going to be successful either. So yeah, it really is all about instilling leadership in them. I like that. Okay. All right, so there's a couple more pages of the build guide, but it's about 8 o'clock, so let me just kind of flash through it. But you can read through it. You can actually download this onto your computer, or you can go ahead and order a pack of them. They are available. But it just has some nice things in here, like, what would make the biggest impact in your life? Really just helping you to see what is it you want here. And I think it is actually very valuable to sit down and look through this and really figure out, what are your goals? What do you want it for? It's important to have a why. Because it can be a major driver. So here we go. So partner with doTERRA and get where you want to be. So which path is best for you? And so this is actually really nice, the way that they did this, so it shows you the different things, supplement your income, replace your income, and then it kind of shows you, okay, well, here are your goals. Here's what you're going to do to get there. So this is a really handy thing. And so if you were sitting down with someone who wanted to get started with the business, then you could show them this and go through it with them. So, but that is the build guide, and I think that should be pretty good. I want to close this up. Oh, here we go. So here's the names list, which is kind of the last part I want to look at. But if you were just starting out in the business, which, some of us are, and even if you're not, it's still valuable to write down a list of people that you're thinking of that you want to share the oils with. And so this is a handy way of just starting to, write down people, just make a unfiltered list here, of everybody that comes to mind, and just write them down, and then start reaching out to these people. Set up, events at your home, set up events, online. And so there's just lots of ways to do it. But that is the build guide. Are there any more questions? And I appreciate that question, Tracy. That was really good. Thank you. Is there anything else?
I have a comment, Megan, before we close.
Sorry?
I have a comment real quick before we close.
All right, please go ahead.
And it has to do with, this was awesome. I love your presentations. We're gonna miss them.
Thanks for your comments.
At least Megan actually agreed to be once a month up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, it'll only be 2 a.m. It shouldn't be that bad.
Anyway, so I do want to say that, of course, this Saturday, 10 to 12, we have our deep dive, like you said. So I want to invite a lot of people in there, and Megan will be there as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. So if you want to say goodbye to her, I'm sure we're going to do something fun on Saturday night as well. So if you want to keep your calendar free for that, we'll do something fun on Saturday night. And I think the other thing is I want to say is we're doing the online classes, and it's working. We're doing another one on pain. So if you're interested, and it's going to be the Deep Blue, Peppermint, and On Guard we're going to talk about. But we're going to actually record them this week and do them. We start the group this week. We're going to continue a little bit longer just because we're so late. So if you know people who want to be part of that group and actually want to get some samples of the oils, let us know. Let them let you know and let us know so we can actually include that. It's going to be a kind of smaller Facebook group again. But we're going to talk about pain and how to help with the essential oils, and then we close it off after, and then we'll put those people into the Project Touch Worldwide website, group. So, and we're doing a logo, so please comment on the logo. It's in Project Touch Worldwide. So,
yeah,
that's all I have to say.
It looks good. Thanks for doing that, Anna Marie.
You're welcome. It's good.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming on the call, and we'll talk again next week. I will be en route to Bahrain, but I'll come on, I don't know when the next call, but I will be on monthly. So anyway, but thanks everyone for coming on tonight.
And she will continue to be in a 6 a.m. call, so maybe it's good to be in 6 a.m. calls.
I will. I was going to say, like, there'll be 1 in the afternoon my time, so it'll be perfect. I'll be awake.
Thank you.
No, for the 6 a.m.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye. Yes.
For the